Last year, I spent about $4 keeping all 7 of my dogs clean. A man down in the valley town with 2 golden retrievers that spend their days on a couch spent over 300 on shampoo alone. His dogs scratch through the whole winter. Dry skin, allergies, vet visits. Mine sleep with the sheep, roll in manure, and swim in mountain streams cold enough to stop your heart, and their coats are soft enough to bury your hands in. But this isn't about my dogs against his. It's about what's inside those bottles at the pet store and why a recipe my grandfather made in a kettle over an open fire works better than any of them. My name is Elias Marek. I'm 68 years old and I've spent more than 50 years working dogs in the high pastures. Livestock guardian dogs, the big white ones that live with the flock year round, and herding dogs, border collies mostly, quick little things that never stop moving. These dogs work in mud, sleet, sheep manure, and river water every day of their lives, and I haven't bought a bottle of dog shampoo in half a century. My grandfather was a shepherd before me, and his father before him. He made one simple soap in an iron kettle at the summer hut, and he washed everything with it. The dogs, the wounds on the sheep, his own hands. Those dogs lived outside through winters that killed weaker animals, and their coats stayed thick, and their skins stayed clear. Meanwhile, the people down in the towns, the ones buying products off a shelf, were the ones going to the veterinarian every other month for allergies, hot spots, and flaking skin. Nobody put those two things together back then, so I'll put them together for you now. Turn over a bottle of the best-selling dog shampoo at the pet store and read the ingredients: sodium lauryl sulfate, methylisothiazolinone, cocamidopropylbutane, artificial fragrance compounds. Those chemicals do one thing very well. They strip the natural oils off your dog's skin. Those oils are called sebum, and a dog produces them for a reason. Sebum keeps the coat waterproof, keeps bacteria out, and gives healthy fur that deep shine you see on a working dog. Every time you wash your dog with sulfates and synthetic fragrance, you strip that protection away. The skin panics and produces more oil. The dog smells worse. So you bathe him again and you strip more oil. And the pet industry is happy because now you need the conditioner, the deodorizing spray, the medicated treatment, and the sensitive skin formula on top. Your $4 problem becomes a $60 monthly habit, and the markup is shameless. The raw ingredients in a 16-ounce bottle of premium dog shampoo cost the manufacturer somewhere between 30 and 70 cents. They sell it for 15, sometimes $25. That's a markup of over 3,000%. The fancy label and the veterinarian's face on the front are marketing costs. They are not quality. You don't need any of it. The recipe I've used my whole working life has 3 ingredients, and 2 of them are probably in your kitchen right now. The first is unscented liquid Castile soap. If you've never heard the name, Castile soap is simply soap made from plant oils instead of synthetic detergents. It's the closest thing on a store shelf to what my grandfather made in his kettle. A 32-ounce bottle costs about $8 to $12 in the natural products section of any grocery store, and it will last you well over a year. Castile soap lifts dirt and grime the way soap is supposed to, without burning the natural oils off your dog's skin. But cleaning alone doesn't help skin that's already irritated. That's what the second ingredient is for: colloidal oatmeal. The name sounds expensive. It isn't. It's plain oats ground into a powder fine enough to dissolve in water. Buy a bag of plain, unflavored oats for about $3 and run them through a blender or a coffee grinder for 30 seconds until you have a fine powder. Colloidal oatmeal has been used on irritated skin for centuries, and the science backs it up. It forms a protective layer on the skin, holds moisture in, and calms itching and inflammation. Veterinarians prescribe oatmeal-based treatments for dogs with allergies all the time. They charge $40 for what costs 20 cents to make with a bag of oats and a kitchen blender. Now, the Castile soap cleans gently and the oatmeal protects the skin. But neither one fixes the deeper damage commercial shampoos have already done to your dog's skin acidity. That's where the third ingredient earns its place. Raw apple cider vinegar. Not the clear distilled kind you'd clean a window with. You want the cloudy, unfiltered bottle with the mother culture still floating in it, about $4 at any grocery store. It does two things that matter. First, it rebalances the skin's acidity. A dog's skin naturally sits between 6 and 7 on the acidity scale, and most commercial shampoos push it far too high, which causes the dryness and irritation. A diluted vinegar rinse brings it back where it belongs. Second, and this is the part that made a believer out of me decades ago, up in pastures full of tall grass and ticks, fleas and ticks hate the smell and taste of apple cider vinegar. It won't kill them on contact, but it turns your dog's skin into a place they don't want to live. During tick season, every one of my dogs gets a vinegar rinse after every bath, and dogs that sleep outside with a flock of sheep stay nearly free of them. 3 ingredients: Castile soap, ground oats, apple cider vinegar. The total cost for a batch that covers a full year of regular baths for a medium-sized dog is right around $6. Compare that to one bottle of the popular brand sitting on the pet store shelf for $15 to $20, a bottle that lasts maybe 6 baths. Over a year, that's $4 against well over $100. And that's if you only keep one dog. I keep 7. Making it takes 2 minutes. Take a large glass jar with a lid. Pour in 1 cup of warm water. Not hot, just warm enough to dissolve the oatmeal. Add 2 tablespoons of your finely ground oats and stir until there are no lumps. Then pour in a 1/4 cup of liquid Castile soap and stir gently until it all comes together. That's your shampoo sitting in a jar on the counter. If you want extras, a tablespoon of melted coconut oil helps with dry skin in the winter, and a teaspoon of raw honey adds moisture. Some people add a sprig of dried rosemary for a mild scent. All of that is optional. The base recipe stands on its own, sealed tight in a glass jar. This mixture keeps for a full 12 months on a shelf at room temperature. The Castile soap works as a natural preservative, and the oatmeal absorbs the moisture, so nothing sits stagnant. I write the date on a strip of tape on the lid. Shake it before each use, because the oatmeal settles. If it ever smells off or changes color, something got in it, a wet hand or a dirty spoon, and you make a fresh batch. In 50 years, that has happened to me exactly twice. If this is useful to you, subscribe. Every week I share methods tested over 50 years of working dogs in the mountains for raising healthier, tougher, happier dogs. I've also put everything into one complete guide called The Shepherd's Dog Savings Manual. It covers homemade flea treatments, ear cleaning solutions, paw balms, and coat conditioners, the same things I've used on working dogs my entire life. There's a link in the description. Now, the recipe is the easy part. Where people actually go wrong and then come back blaming the ingredients is in how they use it. And these mistakes can undo everything those 3 ingredients are doing for your dog's skin. Start with a thorough soak. Saturate the coat all the way down to the skin with warm water, not hot. A dog's skin is more sensitive than yours, and water that feels comfortable on your hand can be too warm for him. Spend 2 to 3 full minutes working the water through the top coat and into the undercoat. With a heavy-coated dog, a guardian breed or a shepherd, you'd be surprised how long it takes for water to actually reach the skin under all that fur. Almost everyone skips this step, and then they wonder why the shampoo won't lather. Once the coat is fully soaked, work about a tablespoon of the shampoo between your palms first. Then massage it into the coat, starting at the neck and moving toward the tail. Fingertips, not nails, small circles all the way down to the skin, the chest, the belly, the armpits, and behind the ears are where the odor-causing bacteria hide, so don't skip them. Let the shampoo sit for 2 to 3 minutes. Give the oatmeal time to calm the skin and the soap time to lift the dirt. Then rinse thoroughly. Soap left in the coat is the #1 cause of itching and flaking after a bath. When you think you've rinsed enough, go one more time. But the step that makes the biggest difference in the whole process is the one almost nobody does. After all the shampoo is out, mix 1 part raw apple cider vinegar with 4 parts warm water in a pitcher. Pour it slowly over the dog's coat and work it through with your hands. Don't rinse it out. Leave it. I know what you're thinking. The dog will smell like vinegar all day. He won't. The smell fades completely within about 20 minutes as the coat dries, and what's left behind is soft, shining fur and calm, balanced skin. For drying in warm weather, let the dog shake off and dry in the sun. In the cold months, towel dry by pressing the towel into the coat, not rubbing. Rubbing tangles the fur and irritates freshly scrubbed skin. Keep the dog inside or in the barn until the undercoat is completely dry to the touch. A thick double coat holds moisture against the skin long after the outer fur feels dry, and damp trapped against warm skin is exactly how painful bacterial hotspots begin. I've treated enough of them on other people's dogs to know. Now, the 4 mistakes. I've given this recipe to plenty of families over the years, and the ones who come back frustrated almost always made one of these same errors. The last one catches more people than you'd expect. Mistake #1 is using the wrong vinegar. White distilled vinegar is not the same thing. It's too acidic, it has none of the beneficial bacteria from the mother culture, and it won't rebalance the skin the same way. You want raw, unfiltered apple cider vinegar, the cloudy kind, with sediment resting at the bottom of the bottle. Mistake #2 is worse, and this one genuinely worries me because I see the advice all over the internet. Adding tea tree oil. Tea tree oil is toxic to dogs. Even diluted, it can cause vomiting, weakness, tremors, and in serious cases, liver failure. Fine for people, not fine for dogs. Don't add it. If you want a natural flea deterrent beyond the vinegar, a small amount of cedarwood oil or lemongrass oil is safer, but even then, no more than 2 or 3 drops per batch, and watch the dog closely for any reaction. Mistake #3 is bathing too often. Once or twice a month is plenty for most dogs. A working dog in mud and livestock might need every 2 weeks in the worst of the season. But bathing every week, even with this gentle recipe, still disturbs the skin's natural balance. A dog that smells bad between baths almost always has a diet problem or a skin infection underneath. That's not a signal to wash him more. It's a signal to look closer. Mistake #4 is the one that surprises people. Skipping the oatmeal because they decide it's just an optional extra. It's not. The oatmeal is what makes this recipe gentle enough for regular use. Without it, You're washing your dog with diluted soap, which is better than commercial shampoo, but not by much. The oatmeal does the heavy work of protecting the skin, and leaving it out turns a complete formula into half of one. Two more things worth knowing before you go, because the recipe changes with the seasons. Up here, everything does. In winter, when the stove dries out the air inside, double the coconut oil to a full 2 tablespoons. Dry winter air pulls moisture from a dog's skin the same way it pulls it from yours, and the extra oil keeps the coat soft and stops that white, flaky dandruff that shows up on dark-coated dogs in January and February. In summer, at the height of flea and tick season, in tall grass along the forest edges, strengthen the vinegar rinse from 1 to 4 down to 1 to 2. Stronger mix, stronger deterrent. I also add 3 drops of cedarwood oil to the shampoo batch itself in the summer months. And between the vinegar and the cedarwood, dogs that live outside with sheep in tick country have stayed clean for years without chemical spot treatments or a pesticide collar anywhere near them. For puppies under 6 months, skip the vinegar rinse entirely. Use only the Castile soap and oatmeal base at half strength with extra water. A puppy's skin is still learning to regulate itself, and gentler is always better at that age. By 6 months, they can take the full recipe with no trouble. Remember the $300 that man in the valley spent last year? His retrievers still had dry skin. He was still at the vet for allergy treatments and medicated baths, still buying a new bottle every month and a half, still wondering why nothing ever worked. My dogs sleep with the flock, swim in snowmelt, and dig under fences all summer. Their coats are soft, their skin is clear, and my whole investment for the year was a jug of Castile soap, a bag of oats, and a bottle of vinegar standing on the shelf next to the sheep shears. If you want to stop overpaying for dog care, subscribe. 50 years in the mountains taught me methods no pet store will ever sell you, and I share them here every single week.